For my unit plan, I chose apples and pumpkins since as a kindergarten teacher, this was our upcoming unit, and it also hits on many of our standards of life cycles and nature and fall, and it just fell right into our pacing guide. So I did apples and pumpkins, and we chose to teach about the life cycle of an apple. We chose to teach the life cycle of a pumpkin. And we also did virtual reality field trips to pumpkin patches to see the life cycle in action and to see where pumpkins grow. We did a virtual tour to an apple orchard, which showed how apples grew and the life cycle of an apple. And we also explored apples. We also explored apples and pumpkins using Realia. This unit plan hits on many of the Common Core standards needed in kindergarten. We hit math and geography in that we are measuring the circumference of pumpkins and apples. We're sorting. We're distinguishing differences and similarities, sizes. We're analyzing and comparing shapes, colors, multiple things, and we're representing these in different ways through drawings and replicas. It also covers this unit also incorporates the science and language arts and visual art Common Core standards as well. It covers answering and asking questions to understand how things are created, how things are done, the who, the what, the when, the why, the where. Answering questions about details such as the life cycle and sequencing and so on. It covers drawing and dictating and writing based on a specific topic. It also covers the visual arts, which is really important in kindergarten, which is the cutting and using scissors and glue and creating projects that represent your knowledge and understanding of the topic at hand. The technology standards touched in this unit cover collecting and presenting data in various visual formats, as well as identifying and describing patterns within those data visualizations and creating charts and graphs to make predictions from. We did this quite a bit throughout our unit with our apples and pumpkins in grafting who liked which apple best, what was the best thing we could make from an apple, what was the best thing we could make from a pumpkin, how many small pumpkins did we have when we did our characteristics, how many big pumpkins, and so on. And this created a great representation to our students, looking on what was more, what was less, what was even, and how can we represent these in graphs. Some of the technology that I used throughout our unit was a smart board, which is good for our visual learners because they can see it, it's big, it's accessible to them. It's also great for our bodily and kinesthetic learners because they can go up and they can manipulate it, they can move around the images and create what image they want, or they can help create, like we did it for our life cycles, and it just gets them involved in the creation of our projects. I also used a website, a couple of them actually, called one was called ABC Mouse, And the other one was called ABC Ya. And those two are great for our musical learners because they usually have an element of music behind it. It's also great for our visual and bottle kinesthetic learners because once again it's hands-on. YouTube is another great one for our music learners. I used a lot of music when teaching the life cycle of the apple and the pumpkin. I also use the virtual field trip, which is great for our naturalists, multiple intelligent, because it got them immersed into the pumpkin patch. It got them immersed into the apple orchards, and they were able to experience what it would be like to go there without actually leaving our classroom. I also used Google Docs, and within ABC, we were able to create word clouds, which is great for our verbal learners because they were able to talk about what we learned and create documents that they could share with the other students in the class.